Okay, good morning everyone. Today we will discuss the next chapter called as three-phase induction motor. Okay, so today we'll discuss about some review points, that is the basics we already studied in the first semester of the BEE course. The same thing I will repeat here. Okay, so three-phase induction motor. So generally, what is three-phase induction motor? Okay, so what is motor? So motor is a device or a machine which converts mechanical energy into electrical energy. All of you know that one, right? Okay, what is induction? Induction means it is purely referred to the AC machine. Induction effect, it will comes in AC, not in DC. Okay, so it is works on the principle of Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. Okay, so in general rule, conversion of electrical power into mechanical power takes place in the rotating part of an electric motor. Conversion of electrical power to electrical energy into mechanical energy conversion. Okay, that is directly it will done through the conduction. It means suppose any motor is there. Suppose motor is there, it has a field, that is the magnetic field, magnetic poles N and S, and the armature. And armature consists of conductors, conductor, and also brushes, commutator segments and brushes will give the supply to the brush, right? This is positive and negative. That is, in case of DC machine, we are giving DC supply like this. Okay, so then voltage is given, so then current starts flowing in DC motor. Okay, so this current starts flowing. The current is directly flowing through the armature, through the brushes, right? So electric energy, it is the input. Electrical energy is converted into mechanical force, that is mechanical energy, through the conduction, directly conduction here, right? Directly conduction, conducted directly through the armature. Okay, through the brushes and commutator. So this is called as DC machines is called as conduction motor. Okay, so now you got the idea about what is conduction motor. So now what is induction motor? That is the today's topic. You know that conduction motor, this is called as conduction motor. And what do you mean by induction motor? Anybody can tell what is induction motor? Dhanush, today is the first class.
Yes, sir.
Today is the first class, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now what is induction motor?
Sir,
You got the point of conduction motor, right?
yes, sir.
What is induction?
It uses alternating current, sir,
Yes. Then
and works
how
under
it
the
is working?
principle
How it is?
induction
Huh?
induction principle in our car.
Induction principle. So what is that induction principle? Anybody? Momina Kausar. What is induction principle?
Electromagnetic induction.
What is that? How it is working? Whenever magnetic flux linking the coil or conductor, what
Placed
happens?
in a rotating magnetic
EMF,
field.
EMF will be induced in the conductor, right? That is your induction principle. Okay, in the same way, a AC motor, the rotor does not receive electric power through the conduction, right? In induction motor, what happens? You have a rotor and we have a stator coils. So three coils R, Y and B. Alright. So this is R coil, stator coils. R, Y, B are connected 120 degree apart, and there is no electrical connection between stator and rotor here. This is the short circuited rotor, induction rotor. The rotor windings are embedded on the slots. Okay, so there is no brushes and commutators are used here. So this is induction principle, means in between stator and rotor there is a air gap. Okay, so whenever you apply the AC voltage here, that is the AC voltage is the input, and AC current start flowing in R, Y and B. So this will produce thus the flux, that is called as pi R. Here flux produces pi Y, and here flux produced is pi B. Okay, at every instant the two fluxes are active, and finally you will get resultant flux pi R, that is 1.5 times of your maximum flux pi m, right? 1.5 times of maximum flux, that is called as pi m. So here there is no direct current conduction, it does not take place here. So in between there is a magnetic path is there here, that is the inductive path is there. There is no conduction path in the induction motor from stator to rotor. In case of this DC motor, there is a conduction path is there from the stator to rotor through the brushes. The current is also flowing in the armature, that is called as armature current IA, right? So here armature current is not comes here. Okay, so here flux will be passed from the primary to secondary, like your transformer, having a primary, similarly secondary. So induction motor is also called as a rotating transformer. So this is stator part is called as a primary side, and the rotor, a short circuited rotor, hence your this is called as the induction motor. A rotor is the secondary part. Okay, from the primary to secondary the flux will be passing, right? That is the mutual flux, that is pi. So here the three phases are there, hence pi r, pi y and pi b, and resultant flux will be produced. So this is rotating in the air gap. Okay, so this flux is called as rotating magnetic field, that is rotating in synchronous speed ns. So ns is equal to 120 f by p. Are of you following whatever I am explaining? I am explaining difference between conduction motor and induction motor. Explaining difference between conduction motor and induction motor. Are you following? Please give your response.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir,
So now, so this is called as induction motor. However, in AC motor, the rotor does not receive electric power by conduction, but by induction in exactly the same way as a secondary of a two winding transformer. So whatever I have told about two winding of transformer, like two winding transformer. So transformer is a stationary part, but this is a rotating transformer. This is the rotor part. Like exactly in the same way of the transformer, the induction motor is also working, and it will receive the power from the primary side. That's why the such motor known as induction motor. In fact, the induction motor can be treated as rotating transformer. Okay, so one in which primary winding is a stationary, but secondary is free to rotate in case of induction motor. Is it clear? This is the introduction about the three-phase induction motor. All of the AC motors in the polyphase. Polyphase means three-phase, more than single phase. Polyphase induction motor is the one which is extensively used for various kinds of industrial drives. It has the following main advantages and also some disadvantages are there. So what are the advantages? It has a very simple and extremely rugged construction, almost unbreakable construction, and the cost is very low compared to the DC motor, and it is very reliable type of motor, and it has a sufficiently high efficiency and reasonably good power factor. Okay, and it require a minimum maintenance is also less compared to the DC motor, because in DC motor the brushes and commutators, so because due to friction, so what happens, the brushes will also uh, you need to change the brushes, okay, and commutator segments every time. Okay, so that thing that is not in the three phase induction motor, but we are not using the brushes and commutator here. And induction motors are self-starting one for the lower applications. So lower HP rating we can directly start without a starter. For higher HP motor we definitely we require a starter. Okay, small rating do not require a starter. Okay, so if you are having a half HP pump is there, it does not require a starter. Directly you can run that half HP or quarter HP or up to 1 HP without starter. We can you can run the induction motor. Okay, so for larger motors, the arrangement is our starting arrangement is also very simple. So that is you can use the direct online starter or star delta starter or auto transformer. There are different types of starters are available. So these are the advantages. Because of these advantages, these are induction motors are well used in various industries and agriculture and home appliances. Okay, in it having a more application compared to the other types of motor because of very simple and rigid construction. Okay, and disadvantages are less. It is essentially a constant speed motor. Okay, if you want to achieve a variation speed, that can be also possible to some extent, and its speed cannot be varied easily. So in nowadays we can vary the speed by using the power electronic devices are there. Okay, other speed control device is required to change the speed of that induction motor, and its starting torque is somewhat inferior to that of the DC shunt motor. Okay, and it is speed decreases with increases in the load. Okay, if increase the load current, that load current is increases and speed is going to be decreases. So that is the characteristics. So these are the disadvantages of the induction motor. Okay, so now you got the merits and demerits of the induction motor. Okay, then coming to the construction, a three phase induction motor having a two parts, one is stator part and another one is rotor part. The rotor is separated from the stator by a small air gap. So look at the diagram, the stator, and here there is a rotor, is inside there is a rotor. Okay, there is a air gap between stator and rotor, so that is in between 0.4 to 4 mm. Okay, this is the distance between stator to rotor, very small distance, that is in between 0.4 mm to 4 mm, right? And depending upon the rating of the machine, the air gap is also going to be varied. So now figure shows the stator of the induction motor. It consists of a steel frame. This is the steel frame, okay, which encloses the hollow cylindrical core, inside there is a core. This is the stator core. The stator core having the laminations also, that is made up of thin laminations of silicon steel, the stator core, to reduce the eddy current loss and hysteresis loss. A large number of uniform slots are cut into the inner periphery. So inner periphery means inner side open. Outer periphery means outer side it is open. The conductors are placed inside. Okay, towards the rotor. Towards the rotor there is a open slot. Okay, and towards the stator it is closed. The conductors are closed. So inner periphery. Okay, a large number of uniform slots are cut on the inner periphery of the core. The stator conductors are placed in these slots. So these are the stator conductors that is placed in the slot. So this is the stator slots, right? So now which are insulated from each other, which are insulated from each other and also from the slot, slots to slots there is a insulation is there, conductor to slot is also insulation is there. Suppose this is the slot, this is the conductor, so there is a insulation between slot to slot and also conductor to slot. Insulation between, here you can also provide insulation between slot to slot and also conductor to slot. Okay, because if you not if it is current flows through the slots and also, then what happens, there is a short circuit will be occurring. So therefore there is a insulation is provided around the conductor, okay, and also around the slot. Insulation is provided like this. Is it clear? This is the stator construction. These conductors are connected as a balanced three-phase star winding or delta winding. Balanced three-phase star or delta winding. That is balanced three-phase winding means, so all are having equal magnitude, differ from 120-degree apart. Okay. So R phase, Y phase and B phase. In all the phases having the magnitude of the voltage must be equal and phase angle it will differ from 120-degree apart. This is called as balance. This is called as balanced supply. Okay, and the balanced winding, that is wound for a definite number of poles depending upon the requirement of speed, and it is wound for a more number of poles if the speed required is less, that is vice versa. If number of poles are increases, speed will be decreases according to the relation ns is equal to 120 f by p. Nf is the synchronous speed in rpm, F is the frequency of the supply in hertz, and P is the number of poles. You know this relation. All of you know this relation. Okay, Ns is equal to 120 F divided by P. Okay, all of you following this? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, is it interesting? Right.
Yes, sir.
So next, coming to the rotor part. So in that we have two different types of rotor in induction motor. One is squirrel cage rotor and one is slip ring rotor, right? The rotor is mounted on the shaft. So this is the shaft. Rotor is mounted on the shaft. Is a hollow laminated core. So this is the hollow laminated core having a slots on its outer periphery. Slots will be always rotor slots will be outer periphery. So stator slots will be inner periphery, right? Always rotor slots will be outer periphery because so stator is there and the rotor is there. Always rotor slots will be how it is inner periphery. Inner periphery means conductor is here. Conductor is open in this case. Similarly, rotor slots are like this. Rotor slots are outer periphery. The conductors are like this. It means I will draw here. So this is the stator slots and stator conductor. Similarly, rotor slots will be like this, opposite to the stator slot. So inner periphery, and this is outer periphery. This is for rotor. Rotor conductors are like this, and this is the stator conductor. Okay, so both are opposite in nature. Okay, so here this is inner periphery and this is outer periphery. Now it is clear. So there are two types, squirrel cage and slip ring. So 90% of the induction motors are squirrel cage rotor. Okay, so because it is easy in construction and rugged construction. Okay, this induction motors of squirrel cage type, as the rotor is simple and rugged construction, and this is the bars are like the tails of the squirrel. Okay, hence it is called a squirrel cage rotor. So if you use the squirrel cage rotor, then it is called a squirrel cage induction motor. So these are called as a bars, short circuited at the both the ends, called as end rings. Okay, it consists of laminated cylindrical core having a parallel slots. So these are the parallel slots. Inside the slots, the conductors are present. That is embedded. Either you can use copper or aluminum conductor that is embedded in these slots. One bar is placed in each slot, and all the bars are joined at the end, called as the metal ring, called as end ring. Thus short circuited at both the end. Here also connected, here also connected. Short circuited at the both the end, and it is not possible to add any external resistance here. For this rotor, we cannot add any external resistance because the conductors are not get into the outside here. Okay, these are embedded here. Okay, there is no brush or commutator segment is there here to take the current outside or to insert the current to inside. Okay, if you connect the rheostat to the this rotor, that is not possible here. Okay, the external resistance that cannot be connect here, the external resistance that cannot be connect here. Okay, that is not possible. Okay, in series with the rotor circuit during starting. Okay, this is called as squirrel cage, and the slots are slightly skewed, which helps to two ways. It reduces the noise due to magnetic come and some angles giving. And another type of rotor called as slip ring rotor. It is also called as a phase wound rotor. Okay, the same stator is same. Times it is star or delta. This is the stator part. This is the stator part and this is the rotor part. Both the windings are present. Okay, so rotor also three phase and stator also three phase. But in this case, rotor is not like this. Rotor is a short circuited conductor, just one round. Okay, so you can represent like this in squirrel cage. It is the only one round. But here there are three different windings are there in the slip ring rotor. These windings can be brought out and it is connected to the slip rings, and slip rings are mounted on the shaft. Okay, and for these slip rings we can connect the brushes, and through the brushes we can add external resistance, that is for starting purpose. Okay, this is the entire arrangement of rotor. This entire rotor is placed here, so then it is called as slip ring induction motor. Slip ring induction motor. If you use slip ring rotor, then it is called as slip ring induction motor. If you use squirrel cage motor, then it is called as squirrel cage induction motor. Squirrel cage SC motor. SCIM. Okay. Uh, so how it is operating in a slip ring induction motor? The rotor is laminated. The same thing. Cylindrical core is there. Having a uniform slots are there. Here parallel slots are there. Here there is a uniform slots, uniformly distributed like your stator winding. Okay, on its outer periphery, and three phase winding is there. That is RYB. Three windings are also present on the rotor. Three phase winding also present on the stator as well as rotor. Okay, so three phase winding which is star connected is placed in these slots, and the open end of the star winding are brought out and connected to the three insulated slip rings. These are the slip rings, and these are the brushes mounted on the slip rings, and this is total slip ring is mounted on the shaft of the motor with a carbon brushes. These brushes are made up of carbon resting on them. So now the three brushes are externally connected to a three phase star connected rheostat. This is the starting resistance, also called as a rheostat. These three brushes are connected in star connected rheostat. Star connected means three phase rheostat that is connected in star phase. So which is used as a starter during the starting period. Okay, when running under the normal condition, the slip rings are automatically short circuited by means of a metal collar. So we require a starting resistance at the time of starting only. At the time of running period, motor does not require this starter, right? So at that time the entire starter, it will be disconnected from the slip ring. Okay, so disconnected from the slip ring, and it will be short circuited, and it will disconnected from the brushes. Okay, so at the time of running, that arrangement will be made here in the slip ring motor, that is through a metal collar. A metal collar, it will short circuit the, this is the metal collar, it will short circuit the entire starting resistance and it will disconnect. Okay, when it is short circuit means the three phases will be short circuited. Three phases will be shorted. It means the current will be rotating inside only. Then it is called as current carrying conductor. Placed in the magnetic field, it will experience mechanical force. Then it will start rotating. Here also short circuited conductors are there. Okay, short circuited means the current starts flowing. A closed path is created, right? So then current starts flowing. Similar to the squirrel cage motor, it will be happening. Only thing is three-phase winding is there, short circuited winding is there. Okay. So at the time of starting, it is connected to the starting resistance. At the time of running, these three resistors are disconnected automatically, and metal collar it will short the three phases on the slip ring. So then it will closes the path. If it is open means the rotor does not rotate. When it is closes, it means it is a current flowing path in the winding when it is closed. So then current start flowing here. So then what happen? Closed path because of short circuit. Then rotor is going to rotate. Okay, this is the working principle of slip ring rotor, which is pushed along the shaft and connects all the rings together. Next, the brushes are automatically lifted from the slip ring to reduce the frictional loss and wear and tear. The equivalent circuit diagram of phase wound induction motor is also shown in the figure. So this is the figure. So is it got understand up to here, all of you? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is about the construction and working principle, and next class we will discuss about rotating magnetic field. So what is rotating magnetic field? Because this is the uh, lengthiest derivation is there. If you already studied, I will skip it. Otherwise, I want to explain, if you want to explain these things, we will explain in detail in the next class. So rotating magnetic field, how it will be produced. Okay. So what is pi r, pi y, and pi b, everything. Okay. So these things to be discussed in the next class. And also some of the concepts are there. Working principle of the motor, and what is concept of slip, and what is the frequency of rotor current. Okay. And some examples are there. You look into that. So these things are not for your examination purpose, because you already, these things are the basic you already studied in the first semester. So only the syllabus will start from the torque equation of induction motor. Okay. So before that, you must know all these concepts up to here. Okay, next class we will continue what is three-phase rotating magnetic field, and working principle, and what is slip, and what are the applications of the induction motor, and entire thing. And today we have discussed so many things. What is conduction motor? What is induction motor? Right? Conduction and induction motor, and advantages and disadvantages of induction motor, and construction of induction motor. And there are two types of rotors: squirrel cage rotor as well as slip ring rotor. Any doubts regarding today's class? Hello?
Yes, sir.
No doubt. Shall we take the attendance?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you for the listening. Okay, we will end the today's class. Thank you.